Hey, this is welcome to another welcome to another Flophouse Mini. That's an episode of the Flophouse that is shorter than a regular episode. It's what we release on the off weeks. Normally we watch a bad movie and talk about it, but this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, I'm your host, Stuart Wellington, and joining me are
Dan McCoy,
Elliot Koff. Come on. And Elliot Kalin.
That's right. We are joined by our stand-up comedy expert, Matt Koff, friend of the podcast. You've been on the show before, right?
I have.
I think you filled in for me, which those are big shoes.
Yeah, it was not easy.
Okay, well, I think you did a lovely job. So our stand-up comedy expert is perfect because we're not here in the Flophouse. We are in the LMAOHOUSE. That's right. And we are talking about stand-up comedy.
I don't know why you had to spell out house.
Well, I was already spelling out LMAO,
That's
right?
true. That's a good point.
Might as well just keep going.
Spelling out
There's
the word
some logic in
Lamau.
there, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
So we're going to be talking about stand-up comedy in the movies. The first part of today's show, we're going to be talking about movies about stand-up comedy. And after that, we're going to talk a little bit about stand-up comedians who become movie stars. Now, for this first part, we're talking about stand-up comedy in the movies. I'm going to mention the names of movies, and you are going to weigh in. I'm going to especially be leaning heavily on Matt here. Weigh in on whether or not this is an accurate depiction of stand-up comedy and whether or not this is a good movie or not. Obviously, my two co-hosts, Dan and Elliot, can also chime in. You don't just have to sit there twiddling your thumbs like Elliot's doing right now.
And this is predicated on us remembering these movies.
I sent you the movie list ahead of time. You said you were going to watch them all.
Sorry, I didn't do the homework.
Dan is just saying the subtext that every episode of the Flophouse is predicated on the idea that we remember the movie that we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
ever since that time when we were covering Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Dan got hit on the head with a coconut right before recording.
Mm-hmm. That's we all remember that.
Yeah, except for Dan,
obviously. Yeah.
What?
So obviously, if you have not seen this movie, to be honest, I haven't seen half the movies I'm going to ask you guys about. You can gloss over it or make it up. That's why we're doing a podcast. Okay, so first
There's
one
nothing
is,
in the rule book that says a podcast has to be accurate.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
First up is Mr. Saturday Night. Have you guys seen Mr. Saturday Night?
Okay, so this is Billy Crystal.
William Crystal, yep.
Playing sort of Borscht Belt comic. It's a period piece. You know, it covers a whole life. I've not seen it.
I also
the diner scene. Oh, yeah.
I also have not seen it. All I remember is from the, I've seen one scene, which is when he's an old man and he's been relegated to doing a commercial for an adult diaper. I remember seeing that scene, and he finds it beneath him. And I remember the line from the commercial where someone asks, he's like talking about the table he got at a restaurant. He goes, "Oh, it's the best. Would you? Is there somewhere else you'd like to eat? Oh, Madonna's breasts, but there's too long a line, or something like that. The kind of joke that's not really funny, but it's delivered as if it's funny,
And you have to think about that one.
Now, and in this movie, I believe he was like either in a comedy
David Paymer
team.
is also in it and plays his brother. Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it is his brother. I think it's his brother, and like they're either in a comedy team together and Paymer gets left behind, or like Paymer's like kind of his agent or something.
I think he's like his agent or his manager, but I've never seen the whole movie.
You guys are pretty good, though.
We know a lot about this movie we've never
this
seen.
movie that we haven't seen.
I remember a trailer. I remember thinking it's a bad stand-up comedy, but it doesn't seem like a fun movie.
No.
Yeah.
I think
that counterintuitive.
I remember wanting to see it because I thought it was going to be a comedy, and my parents telling me, no, that's not going to be a funny movie. It's not really a funny movie. But the commercials made it seem like it was a funny movie about a comedian.
This was around the City Slickers era, right?
It's a little bit after City Slickers, I think, when Billy Crystal had a blank check to make whatever he wanted.
that was what it was.
It was pre-Curly's Gold, I imagine.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, after we learned
That's how he got the blank check, is he paid for it with Curly's Gold.
Curly's Gold, everything changed after that, of course.
And I'm going to look up Billy. Well, these are questions that we have the answers to, so let me just see. You guys keep
talking. How come there's no Fernando movie?
How come there is no Fernando
you
movie?
You look marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching.
Was that his character on
SNL?
That was one of his characters on SNL. Of course, the movie I think he would prefer to make is the one where he plays Sammy Davis Jr., a part that he did in blackface
he
on
did,
SNL.
yes.
Yeah.
A long time.
So
That's
yes,
what and it'll be directed by Spike Lee. There you go.
So City Slickers is 91. Mr. Saturday Night is 92. City Slickers 2 is 94. So yeah,
Wow.
Mr. Saturday Night is nestled right between the two City Slickers. Yeah.
It's a little one for them, one for me
Exactly.
situation.
I have
Exactly.
this bad movie I want to make.
And then
Now's the time.
And then according to his Wikipedia filmography, it goes 1995, Forget Paris, which he also wrote and directed. 1996, Hamlet. That's Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet,
Right.
which he's played the gravedigger. And
Yeah.
then and then it's just Father's Day.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we got a lot of these to go through, so I think we came to a conclusion
Do you want me to
on
keep
that
reading you Billy Crystal's filmography, or
Do The Princess Bride.
one? Well,
Princess Bride was
save
earlier
that,
than
yeah.
that? That's the
Just
thing.
do it, though.
Okay, but I
Yeah,
still
just
like
do
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The king of comedy. King of
I
comedy.
just watched that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
tell you all about it.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about whether it's accurate or not.
Is it accurate and is it a good movie?
It is accurate in its depiction of mental illness, 100%.
And
I would say that's mild compared to what I see today at the average comedy club.
And
No,
Matt,
I'm kidding.
that's how you got your special. Is you took Jerry Lewis hostage, right?
Exactly. I was like, give me $15,000.
I also think it's accurate to some degree in that it shows that attitude is more important than material. Like,
God.
Yeah.
he delivers things as if he is a comedian and then actually gets some actual laughs when he gets his chance.
You
And the
should come
material's
to
not
a
good.
comedy club because that's mostly it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is funny.
a
'cause
little
he's
bit
like,
scary, as most comedy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
'cause he's like the antagonist for most of the movie.
Anti-hero.
Anti-hero, sure, yeah. But then you're like, oh, people love him. And I'm like, this is a very good depiction of stand-up comedy.
I like to believe that Joker is a sequel to King of Comedy, and it's the same Robert De Niro character. And so when Joker pulls out the gun, right, he's like, "Well, what goes around comes around." You know, this is can't
a
say I
good
didn't
run.
earn this. So,
Joker is later in this list of questions, but I guess we could talk about that one too. How's that? How accurate is Joker?
I think Joker is accurate in some ways in that if you have bad material, people will not want to hear it, and you're also bad at performing it. But there's that part in Joker where Robert De Niro's character goes out of his way to show footage of an amateur comedian at an open mic night bombing so that he can make fun of it on TV. And I was like, I assume this is like a dream that the character is having, because it doesn't make sense why the host of a late night talk show would show amateur stand-up and then make fun of it as if anyone cares. But then he's a guest on the show later on, so I guess and he kills him. So I guess it's hard for me to imagine them doing that. You know, that seems like more of a Tosh type thing to do. You know,
Okay, and good movie, King of Comedy.
King of Comedy,
King of Comedy,
Comedy's
yes.
a real good
I
movie.
love
Yeah.
that movie.
Funny People. How accurate to real life is the movie Funny People, starring Adam Sandler?
Well, life is long, and so is that movie.
That's true.
Now, I only watched the first half of that movie. I checked out, I think, during the scene where Seth Rogen and I think Ray Romano are heckling Adam Sandler and Eminem as they have dinner, and I said, "This movie is not for me. This was made for a different status of person than I am." But is it? So I didn't see the rest of the movie. Is it accurate? I know the only part that struck me as really inaccurate was when Jonah Hill realizes that Seth Rogen deliberately left him out of a major professional career boost, and he seems to forgive him very quickly. Like in the next scene, I'm like, oh, they're not friends anymore. This is not, that friendship is over, you know?
I mean, I will say that, like, let's stipulate up front that I don't know that I've seen a movie about stand-up where I found any of the stand-up particularly funny. Like, that is across the board. It's just like, well, apparently we can't do this, even though stand-up is a thing that gets filmed all the time and is funny often, but we can't put it in a movie. But Funny People at least comes close. Like, it's got actual stand-ups. It's got comic actors who have dabbled in doing that kind of thing, and they're performing material that is better than other fake stand-up in movies. So I guess good on it for that.
Yeah, I don't remember who the stand-ups for.
I know
There's some
Aziz is in
good
there,
ones.
right?
Yeah.
But I can't remember who else. I mean, I feel like the only good fake stand-up I've seen is not every episode, but in several of the episodes of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She'll be doing stand-up, and I'm like, yeah, that's a funny bit, and she's selling it pretty well, you know.
Those were probably all the jokes friend of the podcast, Josh Gondelman, wrote.
But even
Probably.
I mean, maybe it doesn't matter because it's a period piece, but it is like older style stand-up where I'm like, well, it's not a lot of jokes necessarily. She's talking about stuff.
I don't know about that, but maybe you didn't see the right episodes.
She's
I
doing
will say
like
that,
prop work, right? I haven't seen it, but she's doing like
she does a lot of
smashing
prop work.
shit.
She takes out a
Oh,
guitar
sounds
and does a
funny.
lot of novelty songs. Yeah, that kind
Oh,
of
that's
stuff.
cool.
But I think part of the issue is that in real life, stand-up jokes there's like different variations of laughter that you get. But in movies, often any joke a stand-up tells, unless they are bombing, and that's the point for the story, the audience is just loving it and falling all over themselves laughing, and it's as much laughter as you can get. And I think it's very hard. No stand-up act, I think, lives up to the idea that every single joke is just a nonstop, gut buster.
Well, my stand-up special does.
Oh, I mean, except
Oh,
for
yeah.
my
Well,
Other
this
than
is-
that,
This is a lovely segue for Matt to promote his upcoming stand-up special.
But that you bring up a very good point, which is that so much of stand-up in general is medium laughter.
Yeah.
Or pity laughter. I don't know if there's ever been a movie where it's kind of like the audience doesn't find it that funny, but they acknowledge that a joke has been told, so they kind of give a courtesy laugh.
Yeah.
What's the Will Arnett movie that just came
Oh,
out?
is this thing on? I haven't
Yeah,
seen
there's,
it.
there's
Later
some
on
pity
in the
laughter
year.
in there.
I haven't
Okay.
seen that one.
Did you like that?
I liked it okay. I liked it better as like a movie about marriage than a movie about comedy. But
I find it kind of fascinating that Bradley Cooper continues to make movies about people in other artistic fields.
I think he's really fascinated by creative people in that
He's
way.
curious.
He's
I like
curious
that in my
about it.
filmmakers.
Yeah, whether it's a movie about comedy, a movie about conducting, a movie about a bad boy chef. I don't think he directed that one, but he was in it,
No.
right?
Or a drunk musician.
Yeah.
specifically a drunk music. He's
That was his
curious about how
genre.
drunk music works.
Mhm. And then he opened up a cheesesteak place. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's
Have
kind
you
of
been
crazy.
to that place? I hear it's good.
Coop and Buddies or something. Buddies and Coops or something.
Buddies and Coops?
It's something like that.
I don't know.
I haven't.
Sounds more like a chicken place to me.
It does.
It does sound like that, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a couple of things. But wait, you've seen Is This Thing On?
Yeah, I was.
Was it on? Is it a spoiler?
Oh boy, it was on. It was one of the few movies I went out to see in the theater because there was a guild screening.
Because you wanted the 4D experience?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like plenty of the stuff comes to you via screener, but I'm like, I'll actually go to a theater and watch a movie that the guild is putting out. I did not stay around for the Q&A, even though I was asked to.
Who was the Q&A with? Was it Laura Dern there?
I have no idea. If Laura Dern was there, I would have stayed.
Did they personally ask you, or did
No,
they
it's
just
just
ask Dan, you're going to need to be here for this?
Dan, we
there's
told
some
Mr. Cooper
there's
that
some
you would be here.
Revelations
There's going to be
that I think are gonna-
cheesesteaks.
No, you guys know when you get those like emails, they're like, "Please, out of courtesy, stick around for
Yeah,
the
because
Q&A."
it's very dispiriting to, I imagine, to show your movie and then you come out for the Q&A and the audience is often in the middle of leaving as the Q&A is starting.
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
was
I
that my
understand.
coat? Is that my coat?
And
But
I'll
they
tell you,
need to understand that Q&As are almost always bad, and there's a
every
reason
now
why
and
we
then, though,
leave.
every now and then there's a reason to stay at one of those Q&As, and I stay at them now if only because I remember seeing a guild screening of Frost Nixon, which a movie I think is fine. It's okay. And Ron Howard and the screenwriter were going to talk afterwards and with the moderator, and I'm like, I'll stay. And John Waters was in the audience, and he goes, I loved that you had the girl from The Bad Seed play Pat Nixon. That was a great touch. And you could tell Ron Howard, I think, had either forgotten or didn't know that this actress had been the girl in The Bad Seed. He's like, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, sure. And I would love being there for the moment where I'm like, this is what John Waters specifically zeroed in on in this movie.
No, that's great. I saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and Mary Bronstein was there and did a Q&A, and I really enjoyed the Q&A. I don't always bail, but I want the option.
I don't
So,
always
yeah, if
bail,
you're-
but when I do, is this thing on?
If you're the person responsible for sending out fancy screening Q&A invites,
They're
Dan
so
doesn't.
fancy.
Yeah, Dan doesn't automatically storm off. Okay.
No.
So fucking fancy. You go up to a person who's sitting at a folding table.
Ooh.
Oh, they can
They
afford
look for your
tables.
name and they're
Oh,
like,
okay.
what guild are you in? It's so fancy, man.
Dan doesn't always get up when the credits are rolling and go, what is this shit? and then walk out of the theater.
I'm disappointed in you, Bradley Cooper. And you show up, I'm assuming, in Ugg boots and sweatpants.
Well, Dan showed up
Wearing a
in Limitless
feather boa
cosplay
for some
because
reason.
he thought Bradley Cooper was going to sign his Limitless costume. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
why I
makes
was
sense.
mad.
Yeah.
Okay. So on to our next movie, Punchline. Punchline.
So this is with Tom Hanks, right?
and Sally Field.
Yeah, and I've never seen this movie. The only thing I know is our fellow former Daily Show colleague Rory Albanese would always point out how the characters there's a dressing room with lockers for all the comedians backstage, and he'd be like, "When do I get my locker?" I don't understand. I love hanging out around the lockers after a stand-up show. That really stuck out to him.
What
the
do
idea
you,
that they have
like,
locker
what do you
room.
put in there? You're like props and shit?
Your notebook. that
rubber
you're
chicken.
Consulting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't
All
want to
your
share
rubber
rubber
chickens, you know. Don't you guys know about stand-up?
Well, when you show up at a club, if you're lucky, if they have a loaner rubber chicken, if you forgot yours, but often you have to bring your own. Yeah.
You have to desanitize it, obviously.
Yeah.
There's
otherwise-
usually a bucket.
Yeah, just like at a strip club where they have to wipe the bowl down. You got to
exactly.
take handy wipes and wipe down the chicken. I've never seen it. I remember the commercials for it again, but I was just a wee kid. I never saw it. Did you guys see it?
I've seen it because it was, I've said before on the podcast, for whatever reason, my parents would not go out to see movies. We're very frugal in all these other ways, but they were a very early adopter of HBO. So I saw all of these movies over and over again. And Punchline was one that was on HBO a lot. And yeah, it is the classic bad movie about stand-up, I think. It's like, I didn't know at the time. I was like, yeah, I guess this is what stand-up's like. You get these little lockers in the back. You'll hang out. It's the same, 6 people at the show every night at the same theater. I guess that's...
Yeah, it's kind of like Flashdance.
But, yeah, in retrospect, it is nutty. That movie does not seem to know anything about what it's about.
Okay, moving on. We have Top 5 starring Chris Rock. Have you seen this?
Oh, I forgot about that movie. I've not seen it.
Matt looks like he is trying to remember whether he has seen it or not.
I have seen it, but I don't remember actually anyone doing stand-up in it.
I think
thought
he
it was
is
like
a stand-up and he wants to do a comeback, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he wants to be an actor. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I
But there's
definitely
the top
remember
5 of
leaving
something.
thinking, this is okay, this movie.
I feel like I remember Leslie Jones giving a standout performance, and that's kind of
Right,
it.
yeah.
Okay, then we've already covered Is This Thing On and Joker. So the last one is Dolomite Is My Name. Dolomite Is My Name.
Well, from my time in the black clubs of the 1970s, I've seen that movie. That's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I think it really captures my experience as a stand-up most accurately of any movie on this list.
Yeah.
Matt Koff is my name, sure, but everything else matches up.
The way you released those sort of those obscene vinyls and then you managed to turn that into being the lead in some sort of kung fu movies.
Turns that into being the lead, as if he didn't produce and direct those
Yes.
movies.
I rolled into it, yeah.
I
It just
dovetailed,
happened.
I just
As if
had
he
a
wasn't-
maneuver.
Like,
I
oh,
don't know what
I'm a
is-
Hollywood mover and shaker.
I don't know what's odd about that framing of it. You took his success as doing this one thing and he moved into a
it made it
different
sound
area.
like he was seen by the studios and they were like, Rudy Ray Moore, we got to make a movie with you. When it was really him saying, I need to be in a movie. I have to make this movie,
Yeah,
I
but he
don't-
took the money from the LPs to do that.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know how accurate it is to his rise, but I don't know. It's a good movie.
Now, it is a good movie. Now, Matt, you were saying that you would like to take your stand-up comedy career and turn it into a kung fu movie acting career.
Yeah.
How's that going so far?
I wouldn't say it's going bad. Is there work to be done? Maybe.
I guess that's a good way.
You're not there yet.
I guess that's a good way to look at any number of things because, my efforts to break back into writing aren't going bad in that I still have all my limbs. You know,
Exactly. You
Like,
have a
I'm
pen.
alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a house. Well, I don't have a house.
You
but
don't
I
have
live
a
in
house
one.
at all. You live in an apartment. You know,
I
that's-
pay
You
rent.
haven't.
Elliot had that one locked and loaded.
HOUSE. Yeah.
I hate to be the fact
No, it's
checker on
true.
this one, Dan. To be the
I
Woodward
meant I have
Bernstein.
shelter. I
review.
like, I'm not.
Elliot got Dan just got some Pinocchios over here.
Yeah, it's
I want
true.
to point out I also have shelter, so I think I'm doing pretty good in that
Yeah.
kung fu thing.
In your kung fu movie career.
That's
This
true.
is a perfect chance for us to do a little bit of a segue and talk, since we're talking about Matt's acting career. There have been a number of stand-up comedians over the years who have tried to make the pivot from one stage to the big screen.
like Jeremy Piven, the actor. Yeah.
Jeremy Pivot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go
Nobody
down a list
turns like Jeremy Piven.
no, that's good. I like this.
So am I ready for my 1 hour special?
Yeah, I mean that's your opening joke.
That-
So where do you go
That's
from
the
there?
opener
Yeah.
and the closer. Yeah, and the closer as well. And most of the middle.
You also drink a glass of water very slowly.
Yeah.
extremely
Anyway,
slowly.
Jeremy Pivot. Yeah.
Yeah, and you pivot
What
in
else?
different directions.
What else? What else?
Yeah,
did I wanna
oddly,
talk
you
about?
don't pivot in that whole.
No.
And by the end of it, you're just turning. You're not even saying a joke, and the audience is going ape shit. They're
love
like,
it, yeah.
"That's that thing. He's doing it again."
He's doing it.
Okay, so I'm going to go down a list of various stand-up comedians or
Okay.
comedians in general, and we're going to talk about whether or not they've been in any good movies, and if they were acting in those movies, or if they were just kind of doing their regular material.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there may be some people. I tried to weed out the majority of concerning performers in here, but you never know.
And there's no way of knowing what we're going to learn after this episode is recorded.
Yes, after
Yeah.
this episode airs. So, first one, I think this is going to be an easy one. Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
Eddie Murphy. Has he been in any good movies? And is he an actor?
Name one. Well, there's Norbit.
That's true.
Yeah.
certainly of. He's had his periods in the wilderness where he's not doing such great work, but one of the most
Well, when he did that
naturally-
remake of Jeremiah Johnson, he was in the wilderness the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one of the most naturally charismatic performers, and can certainly give a performance that's not just Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I feel like maybe early on he was kind of doing his thing, but has obviously proved that he can do more. If anything, because we mentioned My Name is Dolomite, or Dolomite is My Name.
Dolomite,
which
he's great in that. He's great in Dreamgirls. You know,
Yeah.
he's great. I watched Coming to America so many times when I was a kid that I associated Eddie Murphy with that character more than with kind of like fast talking Eddie Murphy. Like I thought of him as the Prince of Zamunda character. So yeah, I'd say he could definitely act.
So when
He's
you
been in a
watch
bunch of good movies.
Delirious, you're like, what?
I was like, why is he doing this American accent? I don't understand.
He's also always been talented. He was on SNL at 18.
Yeah.
He just had these
wild.
fully formed characters. It's like he is a child prodigy.
Well, 18, he's
Well, it was,
legally not a
yeah.
child. Yeah, it's just
Okay, wow.
Wow,
Okay.
Elliott's splitting hairs
the
over
Really
here.
youngest you can
fast
be and
for
not
that
be a
response.
child. You know?
Speaking of
I'm just saying,
splitting
I
hairs about-
have some legal issues coming up that kind of hinge on the definition of
Oh,
whether
God.
childhood continues at
He
18.
leaned
Yeah.
into the skid.
Speaking of Elliot's joke, next one's Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh boy, yeah.
God.
So he was someone he had trouble recognizing when childhood ended, and 18 being the marker of that. Yeah.
So is he?
I mean, he
movie
pivoted
star.
to the small screen pretty successfully.
We're not talking that. We're talking the big screen.
The big
so
screen.
B movie.
No, I would
I mean,
say
he's only made 2 movies, right?
B movie
B
and
movie
the
and
Pop-Tart
Pop-Tart
Adventure.
movie.
Has
Oh
he
yeah,
made any other
Pop-Tart
ones?
movie.
Well, I mean, he's got to have been in other things, right?
I'm
Like,
not
in some way.
sure about that. Take a
Jerry
look, Dan.
Seinfeld is not an
I'll
actor.
look it up. He's not an actor.
No, he's
that's
not an
for-
actor. Even
No,
on
no,
that's
that's
Seinfeld,
why
he's not an
the-
actor. Yeah.
He's like he has this amazing support cast in Seinfeld. And that's
Yeah.
not an accident. They got really strong actors because he's just kind of himself.
Yes. Yes.
I think he's
Yeah.
a great writer. I think
Yep.
he's a great stand-up.
I mean, I
but
think
he's just
I remember I had a professor in. Oh, he's in a couple other movies, but he doesn't mostly
He's
playing
in top
himself
5 uncredited.
as himself.
Well,
and unremembered.
He's in
Probably
a bunch of
not
the
documentaries.
thing about my folks.
Yes, classic.
What is
No,
the
I
thing
don't
about my
know.
folks?
I don't know. It seems to have.
We all
Paul-
remember the thing about
It
his
stars
folks, right?
Paul Reiser and Peter Falk.
He
and
seems
Olympia
to, but he's
Dukakis.
again. It seems like he's playing himself in that.
Oh, okay.
He plays himself, it seems, in the movie Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg. This, according to Wikipedia. So there's a movie called Pros and Cons where he plays prisoner number 2.
Oh, okay.
But so I think the thing with I think always thought was funny with Seinfeld was I had a professor in college who was like, your main character is going to be the one you're going to have the most trouble making interesting. And that's why on Seinfeld there's all these other characters around, because the main character is the one who doesn't get to be as crazy as the others. And you also want to establish your character early on. That's why they show him showing stand-up at the beginning, so that the audience knows he's not good at stand-up and he's bad at it, and he's not actually a funny stand-up. And I was like, I actually don't think that's what's happening.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's a good line. Okay, so I think we're in consensus with Mr. Jerry Seinfeld. What about Robin Williams?
Great actor.
Yeah.
Probably the acting is maybe better than the stand-up.
I would agree with that.
I think as a stand-up, it felt like he was an actor playing a stand-up comedian in his stand-up. But yeah, I think a better actor than stand-up. But
the stand-up,
and he's been in a couple of good movies.
Bicentennial Man, Jack. He's been
Mrs. Doubtfire,
Popeye.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too hard on a beloved deceased figure, but the stand-up did rely on like a lot of energy, a lot of like sort of repeated like voice, like stock characters he would go back
to. Booger
to.
Sugar, right, fellas?
Oh wow! Yeah.
This is the part where we point out that Matt Koff originated the cocaine bit before it somehow migrated to Josh Gondelman.
It's okay. I've talked about it in therapy. I'm over it.
It doesn't sound like
it sounds like it's an issue, yeah.
But I think he was a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. Ricky Gervais.
Now, do we...
Big screen? We're talking big screen,
big
not
screen
small
only.
I would say that he was a guy who did other things that migrated into stand-up and wasn't that great at it.
I will say, I years before he became a problematic person, he was probably already a difficult person, but
yes,
I saw him do stand-up at a relatively small show, and he was very funny. But it was not what you would call, like, fully professional stand-up. He was very funny talking about things, but it was not like, here's my act, and it's really funny and written. But when it comes to movies, I think it's hard for me to think of any of them. But I haven't seen a bunch of them. I never saw like The Invention of Lying.
I like The Invention of Lying. Okay.
What was that one with ghosts in it? Ghost Town or
Ghost Town was better than Invention of Lying. Invention of Lying was not very good. Ghost Town was okay.
It's kind of a blur, to be honest with you.
What about Derek, where he plays that mentally challenged person?
That's
a TV show.
That's a show. That's a TV show. That's a TV show that my in-laws really wanted me to watch, and I refused to watch it. But I think he's a better actor than stand-up.
It's a tough ask.
Yeah.
But he asked it of himself.
Yeah.
Play the...
It's like, I think I can handle this with taste and sensitivity.
I got this.
I think it feels like Ricky Gervais in some ways is a real, the kind of cautionary example we should all take so that we can stay humble, is that like The Office is still, I mean, that was the cutting edge of comedy or television comedy at one point. And then it's like, I feel like the plummet was so far and so relatively fast with his other work, and we can all take lesson from that. Look, don't take anything for granted, because at a certain point you start with The Office, and eventually you're doing Derek or whatever it's called.
There's some stuff in Extras that's funny.
Extra is funny. It does it somewhat.
I like Extras.
I mean, I think it helps that they got very good cameos from people or guest appearances by like David Bowie and Patrick Stewart.
The cameos and Stephen Merchant are what you're going to Extras for, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, and Extras, I feel like we had not yet seen an overload of you bring in a famous person so they can play a bad version of them, play a not a good person version of themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of that. But
do you feel like Ricky Gervais maybe plummeted after working with Stephen Merchant? Maybe that was the partnership that was holding them afloat.
That's possible. That's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly have found Stephen Merchant funnier in his subsequent work than I've had Ricky Gervais.
He's so tall, and they were podcast pioneers. Those guys.
Oh yeah,
Pilkington.
Okay, moving on.
They are podcast where they made fun of a person every episode, the same person over and over again.
Felt gross when it was happening, but people seemed to like it a lot, so I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
Okay, up next is Mr. Bill Burr. Bill Burr.
I thought you were going to say, up next is Mr. Bean. I'm like, I don't know if he counts.
Now we'll see Mr. Bean do stand what else?
I know Burr's extremely talented. Like, I prefer him as an actor just because I find his, like, sort of centrist shtick kind of distasteful. Like, and that's my personal
You're
like
too
feeling
woke
about
to enjoy his work. That's
Bill
okay.
Burr.
You can admit it.
Yeah, you have woke mind virus,
No, it's true.
which
It's true.
prevents
It's
you from
infected me.
enjoying his.
Yeah.
his
It's all
stand-up.
over my brain.
Um,
Deep in
All
there.
over, deep in there. Yeah, you're riddled with it.
But I think I mean you're putting a spotlight on his acting. Do you prefer his acting work because you dislike his stand-up so much that you think his acting
No, I
work's
think
also middling?
I think he's a genuinely very talented actor, and I would rather see him do that than see him like be like, I'm just coming up right up to the edge and making you think about the edge, and then, but no, I'm not. I'm on the edge. I don't like that stuff.
I
I
don't know.
like that in love making,
Yeah,
but not my
is that
comedy.
what you're calling it, Matt?
Yes, ladies.
So you're saying Bill Burr's doing some kind of stand-up gooning?
Yeah, what are his? I saw him in Glengarry Glen Ross. He was great, but I'm trying to. What are some other Bill Burr roles?
I've mostly
Is there-
seen him acting in TV shows rather than movies. But I mean, he's
Yeah,
acting.
he was on Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah,
He was in Breaking Bad. He was in the Pete
TV
Davidson
show.
movie.
Which one?
He was in the Pete Davidson movie.
the-
King
How
of
was that,
Staten
King's
Stuart?
Island.
Island. I didn't see that one.
It was okay.
You actually saw it.
I did actually see it.
Wow.
Yeah. And Bill Burr's good in it.
I mean, he's a good actor. I think I don't always agree with the sentiments of his stand up, but he's a good stand up too. Like he's a really good stand up. Even I can see the quality in it without it being my thing.
Yeah, I mean
but he's a good
that's
actor,
what I
too.
say too. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he's like very talented at what he does. I just don't like the thing he does that much
Yeah.
as a stand-up.
And it always makes you cold, right? Because his last name is Burr.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't like how he always sticks to your socks after you walk through the woods,
What?
right? Because his name is Burr.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you not? You really? You already knew I was making a joke about his last name, and you couldn't make
Well,
the
you
connection.
changed the type of. You changed the word like it was
Yeah, it's called a
homophone,
synonym.
But,
Oh no, it's got a homophone, not a synonym.
Yeah,
it's a
but,
homophone,
like-
Dan. Yeah.
they do that in Harold openings a lot. I think that's you were like learning
Yeah.
all the different kinds of. Yeah. Anyway,
So another stand-up
name is Harold
comedian
Openings.
turned movie star. Our next stand-up comedian turned movie star, Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay. I think he was very talented at playing what I would call the Rodney Dangerfield role.
I don't know if
Not
you really
really
call it
acting.
acting necessarily. I mean, he makes you believe he's in that situation, which is a form of acting. He's not
Yeah.
losing himself in a character.
I mean, yeah.
I'm unironically
I really
going to
thought
back.
he was back to school.
I'm going to unironically back Elliot up here, where like there are different types of acting, and some of it is just being a persona, but realistically within a story, and that is perfectly valid. Like he's a
Yeah.
good actor at being Rodney Dangerfield in
I mean,
movies.
that is you could call that star acting as opposed to
Yeah.
actor acting, which is I'm going to become this character. Star acting is I'm being myself, but you're going to believe that I'm myself or a version of myself in this predicament.
Yeah.
And
like
he's good at
Groucho
that.
Marx. Is Groucho Marx like a good actor?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Marx Brothers
he's
movies.
Groucho Marx. Yeah,
He's Groucho Marx,
a star,
yeah.
right.
But when he's performing in a Marx Brothers movie, you're not like, I don't really believe that
Yeah.
he's having this conversation with Mrs. Teasdale. Like he sells it.
I saw some old interview for Caddyshack where Chevy Chase got into a fight with the reporter,
That's a surprise.
and
What did that reporter do to get on the bad side of
Oh, wow.
famously gentle
nice,
man?
yeah.
but Rodney Dangerfield was really he was playing it cool, so he didn't do anything. It was nice just to see him like pretend like everything was okay.
Yeah.
I think Ronnie Dangerfield's dealt with worse, probably.
Oh, definitely.
Either in his stand-up comedy career or as in his years as like a vinyl siding salesman, or whatever it was that he was doing before stand-up.
Oh yeah, that was.
And
his
I will
whole
say that,
side
Rodney Dangerfield's persona is something that he came on kind of late in life. So like that's a form of acting in and of itself. Like he's not exactly that man.
I still thought it was a weird choice for Ingmar Bergman to cast him in Persona, though.
Okay.
I get no respect. Oh boy, my psychology is melding with that of the woman that I'm taking care of on this island. Oh, no respect at all.
Yeah, that's the ultimate form of no respect. The dissolution of your psyche.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mark Gagliardi, and I host We Got This with Mark and Hal on the Maximum Fun Network. Would you like to introduce yourself as well?
My name is Jessie, and I am from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hi, Jessie from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Jessie, you are our Maximum Fun Member of the Month.
I'm so delighted to hear that I'm the member of the month. Thank you.
Is there a first episode that you remember?
The pretzel shape episode.
Yeah.
That's pretty classic.
Both of us just killed off each other's answers and went with pretzel rod, which is clearly not the best.
No, that is a terrible pretzel.
As our member of the month, you have a parking spot at Maximum Fun headquarters, as well as a $25 gift card to the Maximum Fun store. We said at the end of the episode we wouldn't do it without you and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Become a Max Fun member now at MaximumFun.org/join.
Hello?
Hello, I'm calling on behalf of the Beef and Dairy Network podcast.
No, I'm sorry. No sales calls. Goodbye.
It's a multi-award-winning podcast featuring guests such as Ted Danson, Nick Offerman, Josie Long.
I don't know what a Josie Long is, and anyway, I'm about to take my mother into town to see Phantom of the Opera at last. You are wasting my time, and even worse, my mother's time. She only has so much time left. She's 98 years old. She's only expected to live for another 20 or 30 years. Mother, get your shoes on. Yes, the orthopedic ones. I don't want to have to carry you home again, do I?
Right, well, if you were looking for a podcast...
Mother, you're not wearing that, are you? It's very revealing, Mother. This is a musical theatre, not a Parisian bordello.
Simply go to MaximumFun.org.
I'm reaching for my Samsung Galaxy 4 as we speak. Mother! Mother, not that hat!
Today's episode of The Flophouse has a sponsor, and this is a sponsor that speaks directly to me as a man who is losing his hair. Yes, it's hard to admit it, but sometimes men have full heads of hair and then stop having full heads of hair and then have less and less hair as time goes on. And you don't want to feel vanity. You feel weird about it, but you want to have that hair. You like the feeling of having a full head of hair. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit that it means something to you. But I'll admit it. It means something to me, and I would love to have some of that hair back. And let me say this. Sitting in a waiting room for a hair loss treatment clinic, that's not a use of your time that you want to do. You don't want to be sitting there and waiting. You don't want to have to get your hair back on somebody else's schedule. You want to get it back when you want it and in the easiest way possible. Maybe you're a little embarrassed about it. Don't be. But if you could get it at home, per se, then that would make it so much easier to do the thing that you feel is going to make you feel more physically and psychologically whole, perhaps. And that's where Hims comes in. Hims makes expert care accessible on your schedule so you can skip the line and focus on feeling like yourself again, getting back to feeling like you are confident and have the head of hair that you really want. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medication, serums, and sprays. Who doesn't love sprays? The ingredients are doctor trusted, like finasteride and minoxidil. It's the stuff that you've heard about in hair regrowth medication before because it works. It's stuff that doctors trust to prescribe to you to get your hair back. It can stop further hair loss, and it can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. There are no hidden fees. There's no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Because again, this is a personal thing. This is something that you may have mixed emotions about, but if it's important to you, then this is a way to do something about it. So for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss and also ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/flop. That's hims.com/flop for your free online visit, hims.com/flop. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Next up is Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer.
So he's the star of The Machine, right?
Yes.
That's
he's
it's
the
based
guy
off
whose
of
thing
his
is
routine.
Yeah, and I think he's always shirtless. His thing is he's always
He's
shirtless.
shirtless a lot. Yeah.
He's convincingly shirtless.
I have to admit, I'm not really that familiar with his stand-up or his acting.
Okay.
So, and he's one of these. This shows you how
You
far
guys,
out of.
it seemed like your sort of thing. That's why I put him on the list.
Yeah, it shows you how far out of the mainstream of comedy I am. I used to feel like when I was younger, I really knew what was going on in comedy more. That I was somewhere and I saw a commercial for like Bert Kreischer's performing at this casino, and it's just clips of him shirtless going like, yeah, in the audience. And I was like, I have no idea who this is. I don't know what he's doing.
What's
but
his
he's
act?
apparently famous. And it reminds me, like when I think when Sebastian Maniscalco was famous, but not
My
so
wife's second
famous.
favorite comedian.
You might have said that, but not so famous that everybody in America knew him. I remember a friend of mine going, yeah, so I'm working on the show with this comedian. You've never heard of him? He's the biggest comedian in America, and he sells out stadiums. You've never heard of him. And I was like, you're right. I don't understand how this is possible. But that's the world we live in now. So I remember seeing a commercial for the movie for The Machine, and they were like, based on the hit stand-up routine. And I'm like, I don't know this routine. I don't know this guy. The commercial's acting like I know it.
This Bert Kreischer's name came up in conversation last night, and my friend
because you were
dropped
out to dinner with his parents, the Kreischers.
Yeah, my friend dropped the trivia, which may be true or false, is that he was the inspiration for the character Van Wilder from the film of the same name, Van Wilder.
National
Who's the inspiration
Lampoon's
for
Van Wilder?
Taj?
That was my question.
Was that the first Rise sequel, The Rise of Taj? Was that the first one?
I think that was the
Uh,
absolute first one. It's never been done before that.
Well, first, okay. Because I don't know. Because there
I
was
feel like a Planet of the Apes probably rose, but I can't remember whether it was before or after. Let's see what else
Rise
rose.
of Taj was in 2006. First, I'm looking up. First movie with Rise in subtitle. Let's see. Oh, well, this is the full title. The Rise of Catherine the Great was from 1934. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Keep moving. I'm going to do some research on this.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we got another fave of the podcast, Larry the Cable Guy.
You know what? He's good in those Cars movies. I don't like the Cars movies, but he's given a good voice performance in those movies.
Who does he play? One of the vehicles?
He plays Mater. Tow Mater, the tow
He
truck.
plays Larry the cable car.
That's what they should have done. He should have been like a
San Francisco.
disused cable car that's in the middle of Radiator Springs for some reason. Yeah, that's retiring. That would have been better. Yeah.
I just realized Jeff Foxworthy made a movie, right?
Yeah, the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Yeah.
No, but not that.
Oh.
He probably made a movie.
Oh yeah, he was in
Yeah.
that. What's that wrestling movie? Fox. What was it?
The
with
Fox
us?
and the Hound.
No, the one about the
Foxglove or whatever?
Yeah, that's
Foxfire?
him. Yeah, that's him, right? In that one.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. So no real opinions on Larry the Cable Guy outside of
Foxcatcher.
his.
That's what it was.
his-
Foxcatcher was originally called Foxworthy, and it was about him being as an Olympic wrestler. Yeah.
I am totally unfamiliar with Mr. the Cable Guy's
Stand-up?
stand-up.
I mean,
So
I
can't say
I
anything
have
about it.
seen it and don't really remember it that well. But I know that he's like
get her done, right?
Yeah,
He's
there's,
get her
there's a
done.
lot of done getting going on.
I think that's basically.
is definitely
I
done.
think you basically get it if you're.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's got like a catchphrase, and it works, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does most of the heavy lifting.
I mean,
was
every
he
one of
ever
these-
on WTF? Did he ever have? Did
I don't
Mark
know.
Maron ever have one?
I
that's
feel like maybe.
I don't know.
I would imagine.
But every big comedian has a catchphrase. This is get her done. Ronnie
Yeah.
Dangerfield is get no respect.
And again,
Jerry
sorry.
Seinfeld's was I'll pick you up after high school. And
sorry, I derailed
Matt, what's
your
your-
very good joke.
thank you. And Matt, what's your catchphrase? You have a catchphrase, right?
Yeah, I'll pick you up after graduate school.
Oh.
Very respectful.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but like another guy who's doing a persona that is apparently very different than who he actually is.
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy. But
Oh, okay.
Not actually a cable guy.
He's not really a cable guy. No.
Doesn't know anything about fixing your cable.
Next up,
No.
we have Steve Martin. Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
I don't know if you've
Stephen
ever heard of
Martin.
him. He was in a movie called The Jerk. He was on a show called Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
Still.
That's all I say.
Still?
In between nothing. I mean, come on. He's maybe the greatest stand-up, and he's quite a good actor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put him. I think he's great at both. I'm going to put his stand-up slightly ahead of his acting, even though he's great at both, because I feel like he's a very good actor, but his stand-up is genius stand-up. You know, like I think it's just so amazing. You know,
Well,
and
he
does it so well.
invented a type of stand. He didn't
Yeah.
invent the Steve Martin method of acting, but he revolutionized stand-up, I would say.
That's
Yeah,
one
I
of those
would say
things
so,
where
too.
I feel like, yeah, there are probably younger people listening to our show. They're like, yeah, Steve Martin, what you know, like I don't understand why they're saying such amazing things about his stand-up, but like it really was a wildly different thing that he figured out.
What was his catchphrase?
Excuse me.
Well, excuse me, I guess.
Yeah,
would be
excuse me, but he didn't do it that much. But but also he's playing a character when he does stand up too. Like he's playing this character of like kind of idiot showbiz obsessive, or professional Steve Martin. So, but even when I was a kid, I had to like discover his earlier stuff because when I was a kid, it was when he was in like Parenthood and stuff like that, and like he was not making stuff that was incredibly hugely funny. Although My Blue Heaven came out when I was a kid, and that's a really funny movie.
That was an HBO.
That's an underrated.
That is an underrated
love that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't had arugula in 6 weeks.
The shoes, right? The shoes are tragic.
Because you're gonna melt all the fruit, all the stuff in there. Like he's so funny in it. But
Barney Cooper Smith. What a coincidence!
And I love that came out of the same interviews with Henry Hill that also led the Goodfellas. I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy. Okay. Now, how about Norm Macdonald?
It just goes to show you the same story with a tweak can be either comedy or tragedy. The premise of the Woody Allen movie Melinda and Melinda, which is not good.
I missed that one.
Manages to take that and make it seem like the most banal observation.
So, Norm Macdonald. What about Norm Macdonald, R.I.P.?
I mean, he's my favorite stand-up. I mean, I think it's kind of like the Rodney Dangerfield thing where, I mean, he didn't do a lot of movies, right? But he was in Dirty Work, which I think he wrote.
He starred in Dirty Work,
and, he was himself, right? And it was great. I think.
I'd say on SNL, which is not a movie, but on SNL, he would play different characters. His Burt Reynolds is so funny,
Yeah.
But he has a stand-up. He's, again, amazing. Another person who was revolutionizing the form while doing it.
Yeah.
And his
Very
David
funny.
Letterman, huh?
And his
Do you like the R-list, Paul?
I used to. My brother and I would do that so
Give me
much.
one of these. Got any gum?
Gotta go. And then
Gum, yeah, gum.
Arliss. It's so funny because it's taking David Letterman and it's just boiling him down to just two mannerisms, 3 mannerisms, and all that. But
so we've talked a lot about actors.
I'll say this. I've been watching a lot. They've put up a lot of old Letterman from before I was watching him on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That was a really funny show back in the early 80s.
Really good.
It was really funny.
I mean, speaking of people who revolutionized things.
Yeah, say what you will about his employee management techniques, which I do not approve of or condone. But
that's a good
funny show.
His early stuff really was a whole new way of doing that kind of show.
When he wasn't tired of doing that show, it was a very funny show. Yeah,
I actually read the Letterman book that came out, and he was not really the driving force behind the absurdity.
Well, it's like Merrill Markoe, right?
It was Merrill Markoe. He wanted to be more of a traditional Johnny Carson style host, which I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
It is very much a Merrill Markoe was such an important factor in that show.
Yeah,
she's so funny. Yeah,
she's great.
And I feel like he always had this kind of air of not buying into the absurd stuff a little bit,
and that worked great.
Yeah, a little bit like looking at the audience. Maybe that's the obvious thing, but
but it's true that to do a show where the show is doing crazy things, but he is like, all right, let's see if this is going to work. I don't know if it's he has that wry, ironic kind of distance to his own show. When it works, it's really funny,
Yeah, as if he hadn't planned it himself.
As if he didn't know it was going to happen. Yeah, exactly.
By the way, David Letterman, I can only think of one acting role, but it was great in Cabin Boy.
I think that's the only one I can think of also. Yeah.
But it was really good.
I mean, again,
he made a meal of it.
He did,
He's just doing his thing, but he's doing it. It's funny. It's one of the funniest parts of Cabin Boy.
Oh, definitely. I couldn't actually finish it, but they front-loaded it with that great performance.
I have some affection for Cabin Boy. I think there's some funny stuff in there. But I love Chris Elliott, so I think that's
I was so get a life pilled at that point.
Oh,
I was anything. Amazing. I was at my local video store waiting for Cabin Boy to arrive in VHS.
I've been watching some of Get a Life because it just showed up on Tubi recently. And I still find it funny because I remember how I found it funny the first time. But it is also really weird to think okay, this was so revolutionary at the time, so strange. And now it's any number of things that's on TV, only a lot slower. You know?
That's true.
But But at the time, amazing.
At the time, no one was making a show like that. Yeah.
It feels like one of those things that came out and the amount of people who actually watched it compared to the actual footprint it had in the creative community is pretty different because not that many people watched it, but the people who watched it are, went on to be like.
It's the Sex Pistols concert or Velvet Underground, album of television comedy. Yeah, in that way.
So we've talked a little bit about movies and we've talked a little bit about stand-up comedy. Do you guys have any movies about stand-up comedy or stand-up comedy performances that are viewable on the internet that you would recommend to our listeners that represents an example of good stand-up comedy or some of your favorites?
Well, I hear Matt Koff has a special.
What?
Well, obviously, this is a great opportunity
That'd be a
for us
great
to plug
example of
Matt's
stand-up comedy.
special.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. I've heard a lot of buzz about him.
Yeah.
Funniest comic in New York, he was called.
So I think I'm only missing two. I think our audience only needs two pieces of information. What is the special called, and where can they watch it?
Yeah.
Great question, Elliot. Well, it's called Catman. I'm the Catman.
Okay.
And it's going to be premiering on
He's the
VIX.
Catman.
Wait, let him. We stepped on part of the information.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have
Good
mentioned
God.
cat. He shouldn't have said, I'm the Catman. Of course, I'm going to launch into the novelty hit, I'm the Scatman.
Meow.
That was the risk I was willing to take.
Yeah.
It's available on Veeps, the Veeps service. It's an
I think
app.
that's just for vice presidents, though. I don't know. I can watch that.
Yeah. So what is Veeps?
Well, I believe that you have a chance being the vice president someday.
Thank you.
I believe I'm going to need more information about how to find it than I thought I was
Is
going
this
to.
an app you download?
Veeps
Is it a
is an
website?
app. It's like a live music app primarily, but they have great acts. They have Eugene Merman just debuted his special, Eddie Pepitone, and a lot of funny folks. It's going to be premiering on there, and you can get a ticket. They call it a ticket. It debuts on March 10th at 8 p.m., and it's $10. It's a very artist-friendly platform, so most of the money actually goes to me, which is great because I self-produced the special.
I mean, I don't like that aspect of it. I was hoping most of the money would go to Veeps. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can, if you want me to Venmo them.
Yeah.
that would be wonderful. That'd be great. Yeah.
$6.
For my ticket specifically.
Just for my, just in the
And
memo,
Dan,
write Elliot's ticket. Yeah.
Dan, you were at the live taping.
I was at the taping.
So there's a chance you'll hear Dan
I'm the
doing
world's
his
biggest-
classic guffaw.
Oh,
in the background.
you will hear Dan
I'm the world's
Gaffay.
biggest Matt Koff stand-up fan.
Yes, he's been a loyal supporter all the way from my album pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He
Is
was
that the name
there
of it,
in the audience.
pre-COVID?
Yeah, I was like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you can hear my
pre-COVID.
laugh on that too.
Very pronounced laugh. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was a great time. I shot at the Village Underground Comedy Cellar. Yeah, the link that everyone should remember to actually see it is veeps.events/Matt Koff. MATTKOF.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Fs.
And that'll be in the show notes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What if we both had said F when you pointed at us? Then there would be one extra F.
Too many
Fs.
Fs.
Yeah.
Too many Fs.
And then that's it for my career. I'll never be a kung fu star now.
Yeah, that
No
guy.
Fs to give.
Yeah.
Your name will never be Dolomite. Yeah.
But it's I'm very proud of it. A lot of Daily Show people worked on it for a very affordable rate.
That's what the listeners
Oh,
looking
wow.
for.
You guys like
Oh.
bargains. You're going to love this comedy
Yeah,
special.
yeah.
A lot of talent went into this thing. Looks great. Sounds great. I think it's funny.
There was a lot of, as someone who has seen Matt perform several times, there's a lot of material I had never seen before, which is, I'm always happy to see that, like, someone's working and, like, turning over their stuff and always, like, grinding. Matt is very devoted to,
He's a devoted grinder.
Always writing.
He's always on Grindr. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never miss a moment to be on Grindr.
Oh man, he's just full
You can
of
also
catchphrases.
find me on Grindr.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much does your special cost there?
It's free.
Okay.
But there is a suggested donation.
I'm super
A
excited about
hand
it.
job. What? Oh,
That Matt Koff is if you've never seen this comedy before, he's hilarious. And you should go to get Veeps and then buy a ticket for it, and then you should watch it.
get Veeps. I think you should. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Wow.
Of
And
course,
if you
it's
make
so
a
fun.
mistake and watch Veep, that's also a good show, but it won't help
It's
but
Matt.
it won't help Matt Koff. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean-
try and rectify it in the future.
Although
I'm a big
maybe-
fan of Veep.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go back in time and work on Veep.
yeah,
You could do that. That's true. You could do that.
could do that.
You could
I
do
like
that.
to keep my
Well,
options
except
open.
for you can't go back in time. But if you could do
but
that.
you could, if you could, you could. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
in a couple of days, we'll ask Matt how's going back. Your plan to go back in time going,
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
like, "It's not going bad."
Yeah, still got all my limbs.
Yeah.
Still got
Got
shelter.
shelter.
to paraphrase that famous philosopher, the poster for Cool World. If Matt Koff could, Matt Koff would. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well-
and before we go, I don't want to mention. I don't want to take away from sponsoring Matt, but I came up with I came up with an answer to your question, Stuart,
Oh,
about
please.
another comedian performance. I mentioned one of my favorite all-time stand-up comedians, Stephen Wright. His voiceover performance as the radio announcer in Reservoir Dogs, I think,
Oh,
adds
great, yeah.
immensely
Oh,
to
yeah.
that movie. And he's just kind of doing what he does. But I believe in that movie that he's a radio DJ. So, I guess that works as acting. So,
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
But he's
obviously,
no
I'm
Matt
going to
Koff.
say George Carlin and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's
Yes.
my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
performance.
Rufus.
Uh-huh.
I thought Rodney Dangerfield was very convincing in Rover Dangerfield, where he didn't
I
always
mean,
he
he's still
looks like a
playing.
dog, right?
Yeah.
He looks like a dog the whole time.
he shits on the sidewalk.
Does he?
That's his thing, right? Am I thinking of the right Rodney Dangerfield?
Maybe that's why he gets no respect.
Yeah. Use the toilet.
Have some self-respect first.
Yeah.
That's how you get respect.
Well, this has been a treat. Thank you so much for talking stand-up comedy and movies with me. I've been Stuart Wellington. Joining me are...
Dan McCoy.
I was going to say my name, but I thought Matt was going to jump in and snake the opportunity from me again. I'm Elliot
learned his
Kalin.
lesson.
Matt Koff.
And this is a mini episode of The Flophouse. We're part of the Max Fun Network. A lot of great shows there. And we are produced by producer Alexander Smith, who goes by Howell Doughty on the internet. He does great work. So thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Maximum Fun
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
Directly
by you.